Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3.
Well, hello, and welcome to my whiskey den, your favorite public access whiskey review show. And we're happy to see you today because craft whiskey is king. We're looking at another craft whiskey. Oh, and we have a guest. Hey, it's Mike. How are you? It's good to see you. Like
an apparition.
Well,
we're lost in the internets there.
Yeah, felt like it.
We were having some issues with him, but now he's back. And with him, he brought, like we said, the Wyoming whiskey, double cask, sherry finished bourbon, coming in at 50% alcohol by volume. And does anyone know anything about the distillery? I know we were looking at having them on at some point. Oh, I have a bone to pick with them. They stole Nancy Fraley from us. That's the best way to put that. There was a day where she was doing the blending for them. As many of you know, she helps all sorts of different distilleries, and they started doing some of the stuff there. But she had to go out to the distillery and help them when she was supposed to be on the show one night, and we lost them to her. So what you're making next better be damn tasty. Which, if any indications by the nose on this, I think you're headed in the right direction. I believe that Brad and Kate Mead are the founders of them. They've actually been on a ranch out in Wyoming for the family, I think 5 generations, like 125 years. And they switched over and started making whiskey a little while ago. And they have senators, lawyers, apparently extreme skiers, and 2 governors of Wyoming that are big fans, which is, hard to argue. You gotta self-promote the state a bit. But what are you guys getting on the nose from this bourbon?
It's a little unique because they're using their standard wheated mash. It's aged 5 years, and then they're putting it into sherry barrels to finish. They don't say how long. But unlike the Rua that we've previously reviewed, this one is not quite the sherry bomb that the others are. But it creates a very interesting profile. I think I get more of the corn and the wheat on the top. There's a little bit of a tart fruitiness that comes in. Kind of reminds me of like a blueberry pie or a blueberry crumble kind of thing going on.
Yeah, it's definitely a more grain forward than the other ones we'd had recently, where some of the other flavors come in. You can tell the grains kind of, a couple of the notes are kind of trying to be a little more prominent in this. I'm getting a brighter front half to midway through on the nose, where it's got to be the sherry, but it's almost like a lemon meringue.
Yeah, that's what I get, maybe a little something more dense, like a buttercream frosting with lemon to it or something, or a citrus. It's just a little sweeter and denser.
Molasses, caramel, a little bit of a nut note for me.
Yeah, cooked fruits and nuts. Yeah, I think these are Pedro Jimenez.
I like Pedro.
Pedro's a good lad.
I've had a good relationship with him.
What kind of relationship, Patrick?
Just that sniffing kind. Just the sniffing kind.
You're not helping your case.
Yeah.
Just that one where you sniff and maybe taste a little.
We just smell each other, man.
He's got a good fragrance. What can I say?
That's right.
But overall, not like dense flavors or over impactful. A little bit lighter, a little more subdued. But let's check the flavor here.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time finding the sherry on the nose.
It's buried. It's for me. It's on the very tail end as I'm inhaling it. I get a little bit of the dark fruit there, but
yeah, on the taste, it almost doesn't come through almost until the finish.
Oh yeah.
The bourbon is definitely more forward with the molasses caramel.
It is, yeah. It's bourbon, but then that finish.
Is where
it's not a flavor additive. It's a finish to the whiskey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing maybe 6 months only in it, maybe less in the finishing barrel for what's coming out of this.
Wow, it's very warming. What is this? 50%?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I am getting a little bit of that spearmint clove kind of spice, like 2/3 of the way through. But this is definitely, you can tell that it is a bourbon first, like clearly foremost. That's what's coming through on the first 2/3 of it for sure. That this is dominating the standard bourbon flavors. Vanilla as well.
It's a nice bourbon. I mean, the proof, you can feel the proof. It's a nice bourbon, but then there's just that little bit of sweetness that carries through, and it's like, there's the finish. That's what it is. The finish was poking through, and then it's there in the end.
Yeah, if you're familiar with Wyoming, they've got a unique take with their bourbon, and just all the grains coming out of Wyoming, the temperature swings they're aging there. With that wheated mash, there's some interesting uniqueness to it, and it brings that character. So if you're familiar with Wyoming whiskey, you're going to find all the things you like about their bourbon in here. But then that sherry finish to it, just I don't know. To me, it really turns it into the note that becomes dominant is like this chocolate fudge note overall, and that's what kind of lingers around for me.
Get that like 2/3 of the way through now. That chocolate note, like you're talking about, and then like I said, it's like it's like a. I'm not calling it's sherry because it's not like a cherry, but it's like chocolate and sherry like mixed together at the tail end.
Yeah, and I totally get that mint. It's almost like a mint cream. That's just underlying right in there, but it's there, and it's interesting with all the other notes coming in.
And it's a little more it's a little more tannic for me on the tail end. It's drying.
It's very dry.
Yeah, like you can feel it, and it's not, when it dries, it's almost like it's pulling away flavors.
Yeah.
Like you're getting a couple left on the sides, but you can feel like the other things leave as it starts to dry out your mouth.
Yeah,
I think this goes to show what we think when Nancy touches a company where it takes something that's good and amps it up notches. Like it just really starts to crank in that like extra flavor profile that you weren't getting before.
I'm curious to ask her what the plan was with it, because this isn't. I like it for its uniqueness alone, because this isn't one where you are. Well, this is a sherried bourbon. This is a bourbon that's been blended with sherry. It's not. It's sherry finished, and it really is finished. It is bourbon, and it carries through there, and it's like there's sherry on the end, but again, it's not a big in your face sherry. It's very subtle, very well done the way it journeys through there, and I wonder if that's what they were going for, to not be a bourbon with sherry in it, and be something that had the finish, because. Yeah, on that alone, I like it. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah,
very drinkable.
And it's very nuanced. It's very subtle, and even the bourbon itself, like you said, it's unique. You sip this, you're not sitting here thinking, this is your classic Kentucky bourbon. It's nothing like a Kentucky bourbon. It stands on its own, but it's got some of those classic bourbon notes, but. That sherry. I mean, my first thought is, okay, these barrels were dry. These were, maybe this was a second or third sherry barrel or something. They were dry. This was not refilled wet, because you just don't get that big sherry impact at all. And even if it was just 3 to 6 months, it's not. Yeah, get the whole sherry bomb, get the whole sherry finished Scotch thing out of your head, because that's not what this is at all.
Yeah.
No. And even on the end, when you're getting the sherry, I feel like I'm getting some barrel oak notes coming through that. So that's still from like the bourbon. And these are it's just kind of tying some of those nice sherry notes into it at the end, weaving it into the pattern. But it's definitely nowhere near a bomb in any way, shape, or form. So if you're expecting that, take that right out of your mind right away.
Yeah, I would definitely buy this, and I would also, in sharing with people, I wouldn't tell them what it was, and see if they could figure that out. Because I mean, when I read it and it's like, oh yeah, it's sherry finished bourbon, I have a preconceived notion of what that is, and this is not that, and I like that. Yeah.
So I dig this. Thank you, Wyoming Whiskey, Nancy Fraley, for putting this together. We're going to get her back on the show. We're going to work that out sometime soon, and we'll square up with Wyoming Whiskey for stealing her from us at another point. Whenever that happens in the future, maybe when we have them on, we'll tell them that, hey, hands off Nancy for at least one night here.
You stay away from Nancy, man.
She's our girl.
That's right. My crush, not yours.
Yeah.
But I don't know when like I said, don't know what the reviews tonight are coming out at. So if you haven't, go to July 6th is going to be our show with Malcolm Phillips and Colin Keegan. We're going to be doing a 5-point tasting method with Malcolm. Then we're going to have Colin Keegan on. We're going to be probably using part of that 5-point method to discuss the little run that single malts that Cole Keegan has between the cask strength and regular and the apple brandy finish, which I think are unique beasts in and of themselves. And one of them started reminding me a little bit of Lafroig in part of the flavor profile when I was tasting it. So it'll be interesting to go back and have Colin in with that to kind of walk us down the path of things that happened or maybe happening that are going on there. So like I said, if this is the 4th of July stream thing coming out, well then happy 4th of July, everybody. Celebrate good with your family. Enjoy a few drams. And if this comes out after, we hope you had a good one. Yeah.
Don't terrorize the neighborhood dogs, please. Don't do that.
But remember, it's not the size of the den that matters. It's the love of whiskey. So cheers, everyone out there. Have a good weekend.
Cheers.
Hit that like, subscribe, hit that bell. Do it. Cheers, guys.
Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3. Just give some more.